Okay, so next we come to the other toolbar. Below this, below the main menu, there will be an option called toolbar. So these are some quick quick access toolbars will be like that. That is whatever we discussed in the main menu. All these things will be there in the toolbar with the help of this icon. So there it will be the options here. Directly frequently used icons will be listed over here. There are several parameters which are not 100% will not be given here. Those all things you can get it in a main menu, but those things which are coming frequently will be listed under this toolbar. Okay, so for example, in view menu, I want to see the front view, side view, all these things. For this, there is an option here. Below this one, you can see front view. This is a front view. This is a back view, side view, top view, bottom view. This is a isometric 3D. This is a isometric view like this. And next one, this is like at the top we have, above that one, at the top we have, this is create new file, open the file, create folder, save, copy, cut, paste, undo, redo. All these options are there. Okay, so like this one, frequently used things are listed in this toolbars. Okay, so this is about rotation. Okay, and the next thing, so we'll come to know subsequently later stage, but you should know that main menu means everything will be there in the main menu. Those things which we are using frequently, those that is frequently used frequently used things will be listed under this toolbars in terms of this icon. If you click on icon, you can directly go to front view, side view, all these things. It is possible by using toolbar. Next step is mode. So mode is consisting of several things are there here. And first step will be like modeling. I have made that is modeling is on. Modeling means I had to create a beam, I had to apply the load, I had to assign support. All these things comes under stage called modeling. Okay, next I want to take the result, that comes under this post processing mode. So once I do the analysis, I want to take the analysis results. So for this, there is an option, there will be, you have to go to the post processing mode. Next one, I want to go for a concrete design. If it is a concrete member, you have to go for concrete design. If it is a steel member, you have to go for steel design. Okay. So mode means modeling is consisting of creating the geometry, assigning the cross section, assigning the load, assigning the support. All the stage will be carried out in modeling. Post processing means here we will seeing the analysis results, like just bending moment, shear force, deflection, stress. All these things will be post processing mode. Then after this one, I want to decide how much number of bars of 12 mm, 16 mm, all this required. This one is, we go for concrete design. In case if it is instead of concrete, if it is made up of steel structure, you have to go for steel design. Similarly, here there is a foundation design. The support need to be designed for that is something that is isolated, combined footing, all those things we have to do. So for this, we go for that foundation design. Okay, so hope you understood. I will just show this in software. Okay, we can see this. This is your main menu: file, edit, view, tools, select, geometry, commands, analyze, mode. All these things are main menu. And so these are the frequently used toolbar which you can see here. Just I will show one few of the things. Like I want to see it from the front view. So right now by default it is, you can see that this line is in a isometric view. I want to see it from the straight, that is from the front view. Click on this. Okay, now I want to see it from the side. So on side it will be just like it will be like this. From the top it will be like this. From the isometric view it will be like this. So likewise, these are frequently used things are there. You can also get this in this view also. Somewhere you will get those option, front view, side view, that you have to see that. Okay, next one, edit will be consisting of, that is cut, copy, paste, take picture, all these things. File will be consisting of new, open, close, that is import. All these things comes under here. Okay, so next one, so if I go to the toolbars, it will be consisting of, like I want to check the dimension, I want to change the unit, I want to that is I want to change the unit. All these things comes under that like option called toolbar. Next, selection means I want to select this beam. So for this beam cursor, click on this beam, this beam gets selected. Now I want to select this joint only. If I do click here, it is not coming, but if I change this cursor, if I go to select node cursor, if I click now, it will be get selected. Okay, so that is selection. This is like I want to select the beam, I want to select the joint, or I want to select the plate, something will be there. Okay, next, geometry will be consisting of I want to create a node, so write down the node coordinate here. Okay, I want to create a beam, so for this add beam, so add beam from point to point option like this way it is there. Okay, next command, in this one we choose that option called perform analysis. Next, analyze. Once the problem is we have applied the load, everything, we go for analyze and run analysis. Okay, so run analysis. So whatever I did now, this will be comes under called modeling stage. That is assigning the load, all these things, load, everything which comes under modeling stage. So next step is I want to take the results, means I had to go for this option called post processing mode. That is to get the bending moment diagram, shear force diagram, I had to go for this post processing mode. Okay, I had to go for post processing mode. That is, if you click on beam graph, so I had to click on this beam, it will show the deflection, everything, it will be there. And next one, once it is done, you can go for this concrete design. So in the concrete design we can go, that is how much amount of reinforcement required, all these things can be seen this from the concrete design. And if you go for steel structure, if it is made up of steel structure instead of this normal concrete beam, you have to go for steel design. Okay, next, the foundation design, I want to, that foundation will receive some reaction, that reaction need to be, that is I need to decide whether I have to go for isolated combined footing, that comes under that option called foundation design. That is, this is your main menu consisting of file, all these things. This is your frequently used toolbars are here. And next, these are your modes, that is modeling, post processing, concrete design, foundation design, all these things comes under here. And next one is one more, this is a page control, I will come to that. Okay, one more is page control. So page control consisting of two things, that is the one is geometry. First, generally when you start the program, geometry will be active already. So geometry means we create the node as well as beam using the option called geometry. Next, we go for next option will be like general, I want to assign the load, all these things, that comes under general tab. Okay, geometry consists, in the geometry tab what we are doing is we are creating the node, we are creating the beam. General means it consisting of remaining all the stages, like I want to assign the load, I want to assign the support, I want to assign the cross section, everything comes under option called general. Okay, this page control will be on the left side. So if you see the diagram, this is your page control. Here I have option called general. So when you click on general, material, load, support, property, all these things will come. When I click on geometry, it will show, it will go to that option beam, where we can create a node on the right side. On the right side you can see here we can create a node, here we can create a beam. Okay, so that this will be on the left side. The two important things are general as well as geometry. So with the help of this geometry, we create a node, we create a beam. Next step is to assign the load, cross section, everything. The next step is go to the material, load, support, property, like this. All these things comes under a tab called general. Okay, this will be on the left side, we call it as left page control. Okay. Okay, so these are about the tools. Okay, the first option will be the front view. We can see this the front view will be shown by this yellow shaded color. This will be the front view, and this will be your top view. That is top, at the top it will be showing at the top it will be showing the shaded yellow color, and this will be the isometric, this one. For this problem I just need only 3 views. that is I need a front view, I need top view is also not required, but we can go for but it's not necessary top view, but we can, if you want, we can see, but for this problem we can go for front view and as well as isometric view. Okay, next one, the types of cursor available. So this arrow along with one that is one circle, it will be used for a selection of the node, that is it is called node cursor. I want to select those joints, so joints are called nodes in this STAAD Pro software. So for this one you need to change the option to this node cursor and pick those nodes. Okay, next I want to select the beam. In that case you have to just use the normal arrow, you have to click on just normal arrow beam, and it is used for selecting the beam. Okay, so remaining things right now it's not required, that is plate, all these things is not required. So but you may require the geometry, like geometry means I want to select the both node as well as beam at the same time, you can go for option called geometry. It is a multiple selection. I want to select node as well as beam, so for this I use an option called geometry cursor. Okay, and these are other frequently used toolbars, like I want to create a beam between this between two nodes, that is node 1 is created here, node 2 is created. So with the help of this, if you click on this one, it will give you option 2, that is you have to pick the node number 1, 2, this will create a beam. Okay, so these are the frequently used toolbars which we will be using. Generally we use it very high frequency. Okay, so understood no this one about the toolbar? Any doubts in this? Any doubts in this toolbars? Okay. Okay. So next step is how the modeling starts. How the modeling starts. I told about frequently used toolbar. How the modeling start? So first step will be creating the node and beam. That is first step, we call it as modeling. In this one we create a node and beam. So in this one the first step will be the geometry. In this geometry beam will be active already. So what you have to do is, on the left page control you have to go to geometry and you have to click on a beam, but it will be by default it will be active, no need to do that. Okay, and next one, here you have to type the node coordinate. So node coordinate, node number 1 0 0 0, next node number 2 5 0 0, like this will be there. Next one, that you can use the like once the node are created, so once you type the node coordinate, once you type the node coordinate, it will show some two circle, that is two bubble or circle, what you want. So this is my node number 1, this is my node number 2, it will be like this. Now I want to create a beam which connects node number 1 and 2. So for this one what you can do is, just you have to write here beam 1, it is connected to 1 and 2. So node A stand for start node, node B stand for end node, or alternatively you can also use an add beam. So just like how I did it in this paint, what I did is actually first I drawn the circle, two circle, then I connected with the help of beam. The same thing we can use using the add beam cursor. Using the add beam, just you have to connect the beam node number 1 and 2. You have to click on node number 1, node number 2, it will the beam get connected between the two nodes. Okay, so that is, you can use that add beam cursor. Okay, next step will be like, once the geometry stage is finished, the next step will be like also, okay, I will finish this first and come to this one. So first you go to the file, new model. So go to file, so go to file, new model. So you can choose the option plane. So give the title and location where you want. So give it, I will choose the length as meter and kilonewton. Next, add beam finish. as I told, the first step will be creating the node as well as beam. So by default it will show some grid. This grid you need to close. So click on this snap node bar beam, close this grid. Okay, now already in this right side geometry beam is already active. Already it is active. Just type the node coordinate. That is, I had the my length of the beam is 5 meter. So right here x equal to 0. First node number 1 is at 0 0 0. Next node number, that is beam is having the length of 5 meter. So type here 5 0 0. Okay. Next one, in between these two nodes I need to create a beam. For this you type here beam number 1. It is connected to node 1 and node 2. Okay, you can do like this, or alternate another way of doing is, so here you come to this here option called add beam. Below that front view option you go to option here called add beam. So click on this node number 1, node number 2. So this will create a beam. So this will create a beam. I'll repeat once again. So to add a beam, so go click on this add beam. So click on this beam, this node and this node, which will create a beam between node number 1, node number 2. Okay, so up to this I told. Next step will be like general. I will discuss that general. Okay, so in the general, so there are sub tabs will be there. First step is this general. With the help of general, we assign the material value property. That is, we are giving property is nothing but I am giving the moment of inertia indirectly by giving the cross section B and D. And next one, load cases, means I want to assign the load that comes under this load and definition tab. Next one, support. Okay, so first step is, you in the general you go to click on the option called material. In the material, the software will show you the four inbuilt material already which are there. So go to you have to click on this concrete and assign to view, assign. So when you go to general, material, concrete, assign to view, assign. So this will assign the material with this values. That is, E value is 21.78, 170. All this value it will be enter. I'll tell about how to edit later stage. So when you go to general material, the software will assign a material and choose a concrete. It will assign the elastic modulus, it will assign the Poisson's ratio, it will assign the density, alpha, remaining everything. Okay. So to assign the material, the next step is, so go to general, in this one material. So in this four of this one, go to concrete, assign to view, assign, yes. Okay, so on the top of this one there is a material. You can see the material, it is 21,000. It has given something values, 21,000 every values are there, which we will see that we will change that later stage, which I will change that later stage. Let it be as it is for a moment. Okay, I have assigned the material. By assigning the material, what I have given is, I have given the E value, also I have given the Poisson's ratio as well as density also. Okay, but here in this problem E value is important, but I will change that at later stage. So that is, when I go for general material concrete, I am assigning E, that is, I am indirectly giving the value of elastic modulus, Poisson's ratio, density, all these things. Okay, next one is, I want to give the cross section. So for this you have an option called property. Next, I want to assign the cross section. For this one, in this general, so in this general there is an option called here on the right, on the top of this one, there will be option called property. You have to click on that property. So in the property, next step is click on this define. So next it will show the shape of the cross section which you want. Presently I want the cross section, that is property. You have to go for rectangle, and YD stands for here depth. I have to enter here YD is equal to, in this problem I have given YD is equal to 0.4, ZD is equal to 0.2. That is, depth is equal to 400 mm, width is equal to 200 mm. That is type here, properties of the material. 0.4, YD is equal to 0.4, ZD is equal to 0.2. Okay, and add. Okay, just add this one. So in this general, go to option property, click on this define rectangle. Here you have to enter YD as 0.4, ZD is 0.2. Okay, 0.2, add. So it will give something reference number 1 RECT like this. Now this need to be assigned to this beam. Presently this beam, if you click without assigning, it is just a straight line. To this I want to give the moment of inertia means. So click on this reference number, assign to view, assign, yes. So right click, 3D rendering. So this will assign the cross section B and D to that beam. Okay, so B and D, as well as that is, when you give the B and D, automatically it will take the moment of inertia value of that cross section. Okay, so next step is assigning the load. So next step is assigning the load. So to assign the load, in the general you have to click on the option called load and definition. In the general, so click on option called load and definition. Now this tab will open. In this one, first you have to go for load case detail, add. You have to go for a load case detail, add, and here you give the something name. You have to give something name. So it will be case number 1, loading type none. So you give something title. So simply supported with UDL load, add. So go to load and definition. Here in the load case detail, you have to click on this. That is, at the bottom there will be option called add, that you have to add. You have to click, and you have to enter the load type and the title. Just type this code, what you want the title, and just add. Okay, next it will go to this. In the present problem, what I want to do is, I want to assign a UDL load on the beam. So this will be listed under option called member load. In that member load, there are several options are there again. So for this present problem, I want to go for UDL load. So that UDL load, the option will be like this here, uniform force. In the member load, you go for option called uniform force, and when you click on this one, it will show what is the magnitude of that value. So here what I have to enter? I have to enter the value of 30. And since this load will be acting in the negative direction, that is, it will be acting downward, so -9, that is, it will be acting in the negative direction. So what you have to do is specify this option as negative W1, that is negative 30 in GY direction. That is, this is your global Y, this is your global X, this is your global Z. Now if you see this one, this is your Y axis, this is Y axis, this is X axis. We are applying the load in Y direction, that too in a opposite manner. The arrow is pointing downwards. So what you have to do is use an option W is equal to -30, choose an option as direction GY, and so this will show the command UNI GY -30 like this. And what you have to do is, you can use any one option, assign to view. So assign to view means it is assigned to that particular beam. Okay, so I will show this how it is done. So in this general, you go for option called here load and definition. So go to this load case detail, add. So here loading type, let it be none. So give the title of your choice. So let it be, I will name it like UDL. You can name anything. UDL load on a beam. Okay, so this is just a title. Add this one, and next UDL load on a beam. Again on this one, you have to go for option called add. Next, I want to assign a load on a beam. For this, it comes under option called member load. So go to this third option, member load. So the first option will be used for assigning the UDL load. For this you have to go for uniform force. So type here the magnitude of the value. Magnitude of the value is 30 and it is acting downward direction. Use an option -30 and it is acting in the downward direction of GY. So you can see here this is acting the load will be acting in the negative Y direction. So choose an option GY negative. Okay, add and close. So this will write something command UNI GY minus 30. This need to be assigned on a beam. So what you have to do is you use an option assign to view, assign, yes, this will assign the load on that beam. Okay, so I have assigned the load. Next step will be like assigning the support. Okay, this support one will this support stage I will tell later. I will tell you about this one later. Just I will show that how it will be created. Just go to option, create. So here what you have to do is in depth, that is just I will in the present problem what I will do is I will assign the pin support at the both side. So what is the stage means? So here in the general, go to option called, you have to click on the subdivision option called support. In the support, so there will be three options like edit, create, delete will be there. You have to go to option create and find an option called pinned option here, pinned and add. Okay, so pinned, so add, so use cursor to assign. Just I will show you how it is done. So I want to assign the pin support, I want to create a pin support. So for this, go to support, go to this option called create. So here you find an option called pin, just add this one and it will be new name S2 support, which you need to be assigned on this node, okay, as well as this node also. Okay, so assign the load. So next step is next step is go to analyze. You have to use an option called perform analysis, and after this analyze, run analysis. Next step is go to analyze, perform analysis, analyze. In this one you have to click on the perform analysis. Now last step will be like analyze, run analysis. Okay, so next step will be like, so here itself they are given option just like general geometry. Here also there is option called analysis. Click on this analysis. So in this performances will be there. Just go for option called add. Okay, now at the last you go for option called analyze, run analysis, and the model is okay. You can take the results. So to take the result you go for option called go to post processing mode, done. Okay, so the reaction should be what should be the reaction? It should be 150, 75 both side. You may see this value. So I will tell about this post processing later stage, but see the values what you have to get. So go to reaction. If you go to reaction, 75 here. Next I want to see the bending moment, shear force, all these things. So go for beam. In this click on graph. So here you can see here. So beam is 93.75. It has it has made the decimal. It has fixed the decimal place just to 1. So that's what it is, 93.8. And shear force is 75 here, minus 75 here. Okay. Next I want to take the stress value. So to take the stress value in this beam, click on the stress. So stress will be maximum at the half of the beam length. That is at I took the beam length as 5 meter. Half of the distance is 2.5 meter. And click on this display corner stress. It will show the value. It has 17.5781. Okay, so these are the values we have to get like this. Okay, understood? No, this all the aspect. So anyone is having the STAAD Pro software right now? Can you start? I will explain there itself by stage wise. so that it will be I can do okay. I don't know whether you're telling just right